Welcome back to Mechanical Meals. Last episode we made a create steam engine, and unfortunately I found out that it is not in the chunk borders. So that means in the future I will have to just plonk down another one here, and just to remind myself I'll put down another 4 right there, exactly opposite in the same chunk. Goal for this episode will be to create a second steam engine, in fact a better steam engine than this one, because this is too slow, way too slow. So I picked up all the pieces that I needed, and I also destroyed every lava source I found because of the water. I'm good at that. Now, it was an interesting choice because I had to decide whereabouts I should get the stress coming in from. If I wanted it right next to the steam engine or a little bit further away. In the end I decided right next to the steam engine would be perfect, as because I could get the stress units and I could power the thing straight away. It was the perfect solution. So I plonked down my mechanical extruder, popped down a lava source next to it, covered it all in glass so that I wouldn't be able to injure myself or kill myself, or however you wanted to say it. Popped down a water source next to it and it was ready to go. Except it wasn't, because I needed to put some belts down and actually transport the cobblestone into the basin. See, what Tuff needs is it needs cobblestone being transported from the extruder into the basin. That then needs to be compacted with water. Then the Tuff will need to be crushed by 2 crushing wheels, and only then will it make it one of the selected materials. It's a very difficult process, and it is a very annoying process because you only get nuggets with it as well. However, it is a very easy way to gain materials, which is why I'm doing it. As you can see here, I'm making a second water source. That's because if I was to connect the original water source up with the existing pipes, the steam engine would collapse, which is not something we really want. The best way to get this water source set up on this position would just be to make an awful looking loop like this. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, however it works, which is what we need. And there we go, our water system's set up and it's connected to our belt. Next thing we need to decide was whereabouts is this going to be coming out of. Which is pretty simple, because there was a big long landing strip we had. So it was very easy to set up and very easy to decide where this needed to be. Then put the belts in, connected all the infrastructure that was there. That is the best way, in my opinion, to set up your crushing wheels, and it's the cheapest way. It takes 6 bits of wood, and it rotates into the opposite direction, which is what you want. I then needed to get a mechanical extruder set up and powered. Best way to do that was just to put a cog and a smaller cog. That was now making me cobblestone straight away, and once I powered the belts, it will be transported into the basin. Yeah, again I used another gear shift so that I could get the crushing wheels set up easily. Mechanical belts get the piston set up easily, or the press, sorry. All I need now was to get the belts moving. This I used a gearbox onto the pump. Very easy, and it connects it all again with the mechanical belt. Now we had everything we're going in. Cobblestone and water going in, getting pressed into cobblestone bricks. This was making cobblestone bricks just because I hadn't set it to make Tuff. It's very simple and easy to change. I just needed to find some Tuff to set to only make Tuff. Once I did that, it was fine. It's just doing that to make sure it could make Tuff. Every 16 cobblestones it'd make Tuff. all I had to do was make the belt below it move. I extended out one more because I needed to make sure that the belts could also supply, the belts could also get rid of the flint, because we don't want flint, no one wants flint. I grabbed a funnel and extended it onto a drawer, and that was an easy way to create a one-way system. Now our Tuff machine was set up, and it was working. However, it was a little bit slow. It was creating one piece of Tuff every 20 seconds probably. But I needed to set up a system to make this faster. Fortunately, this did not get faster because it did not have the space. So I did the sanest thing possible. I made a second cobblestone generator. I then realised you could have enough space. I was just being an idiot. So I got that set up, gear shifted it a few times, and got everything working. Unfortunately now I realised that the heat wasn't going into the lava wasn't going into the blaze burners to power this. So I strode through all of these pigmen, which there were quite a few of, and worked out that the drain wasn't draining. Because pump wasn't pumping. And that was a very easy fix. Very easy fix. All I needed to do was put a large cogwheel just below a vertical gearbox. And that sorted it. I now had lava going into my blaze burners. Just too many pigmen. I'd now set up my Tuff generator. Cobblestone would be made. They'll be transported into this basin, as with the water. That would then be pressed into Tuff. Tuff would be ejected, sent through these crushing reels to make one of the ingots that we previously had. Next thing I realised was that I didn't have enough iron. So I worked out that gravel was a good way to get iron. So I set up another cobblestone generator and worked out how to do it. I then decided to try and kill these pigmen. They finally got on my nerves too much, and that was the end of it. I couldn't stand them any longer. I then got stuck for about 20 minutes as I needed to get some lava. The portal was just striving with these pigmen and I could not get out of this. It was impossible. I did not know what to do. I thought this would be the end of the series right here. So I'd lose all my stuff, wouldn't be able to get any lava, and that would be it. However, very luckily, I did manage to get out. Fortunately though, I then made the bravest decision I've ever made, tried to kill all the pigmen. It didn't work. I then found some of the most incredible hats you've ever seen. Like this one. It's huge, absolutely huge. And I thought this would be the one I chose for the series. But then I found this one. Next, I set up my belts. I needed this to be slower because I needed the fans to be able to go through the gravel and filter out the whatever it is. I don't really know how it works, but it works. However, the dumb mistake I made was working out that cobblestone didn't actually needed to be fanned. It was the gravel. So I had to rebuild everything. I put the fan back down, put some water in the fan, and then I set up my millstone. The reason I chose millstone is because it's nice and easily compact, and I can do whatever I needed to. Now cobblestone could be crushed to gravel, and then it could finally be washed. So here we are. Cobblestone's made. It is then going into the millstone, which for some reason looks like a cuckoo clock. It is then made into gravel. Gravel is then put into iron, and just imagine there is iron ore there. Next thing I needed to make was a andesite alloy maker. This is easy. You can choose andesite and either iron nuggets or flint nuggets. Or it might be zinc nuggets actually. Next thing I needed to do was make redstone. This is done very easily by lava, flint, and netherrack, all mixed together in a basin. I needed to set up some lava. I put it into a fluid tank, and then transported the fluids from that fluid tank into the basin, so that I can have infinite lava. I then set up a flint machine, gathered in the flint from the gravel that we just made, and transporting it into the basin with the lava. This next part was difficult because I needed to make basalt, because basalt then fires into netherite. The way to make basalt is with blue ice, and I worked out very quickly that I couldn't mine packed ice without silk touch. So I then got some snowballs, came all the way back down the mountain, put them in water, which is very lucky, thanks to that create. Then created the blue ice, plopped it down next to the mechanical extruder, powered the mechanical extruder, we had a machine. So the basalt generator makes basalt, obviously. It is then soul heated, or soul flamed, or soul fanned, or whatever, into netherrack. Netherrack then goes into the basin, including with flint and lava. It's then mixed together to make netherite. I then made a second steam engine. I also made a third steam engine. And finally I made a fourth steam engine. And then I connected them all together so that I could actually obtain a full 64,000 stress units. After this I made a smoking system. I then put a botany pot on top with a funnel below it, and then made it a perfect kelp drying farm. Except it wasn't perfect because I put the fan too low. So I moved everything up, powered it, and now finally it was getting dried. Unfortunately the fire kept spawning there, so I put a little exhaust pipe there, which I think looks pretty cool. But now I had dried kelp.